6. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. That is just...
Oh, he's knocked him over. What a ripper. What a good piece of bowling. 151.1. A wicket maiden. Superb fast bowling.
So hey guys, I am Mayuk Banerjee, and we are back with the second season of Crick Peak, which was initially known as Crickcast. So with me I have got Mr. Arjun Roy, and we have got Ayan Datta. So I welcome both of you. So just before getting into the details, let me tell you all that we are back with a new name, with a new logo, a new format altogether, and hold together a lot of new energy. And we will be taking you through with some of the major cricketing events that is happening all around the world. But now it's the IPL time, so I think it's the best time to kick off the second season. And so, having said that, I'll straight away go to Orjunda and Ayan. And I would love to hear their inputs and what they're up to in this second season.
Yeah, hi, good evening all. So, good evening Mayuk, good evening Ayan. So, I think it's very, very exciting to be back for this new, I would say, recoined name, and I really like the way Mayuk had made it. So, I'm looking forward for this season, and very importantly, this season is very, very interesting due to a lot of facts which probably in the course of the discussion, I think we will be discussing. So, I wish all the best, and let's have a very, very interesting IPL.
Ayan, some quick words from you.
Hi, yes, hi, a very good evening to everybody, to Mayuk, to Arjunda, and pretty excited to be part of this new season, new beginning, new year, obviously, and obviously in terms of this difficult and tough times, still having IPL that too in India. I think pretty excited for the IPL as usual this year. I mean, a lot of dimensions and a lot of interesting players, a lot of good matchups, a lot of things to discuss. Obviously, in this new format, so stay tuned and we'll have lots of fun. Stay tuned with us. Thank
And
you.
yeah, make sure you subscribe our channel. So having said that, I'll straight away go because IPL is starting in such a time when the second wave is hitting the country really hard. Yeah, of course, it's hitting the entire world, but our country is in a very testing times, you can say. So and I think I personally think having a tournament like IPL, even though the bio bubble and everything are there in place, I think having an IPL at this point of time is extremely risky for the players and for the organizers altogether. So I would also love to know both of your opinion on that.
Yeah, so very rightly pointed out, having an IPL at this point of time is very, very risky looking at the set of players who are involved. So I think bio bubble is in place, but then we also have the background, a few tournaments here and there, like I think the PSL also, the legends which happened. Though the legends probably didn't have the kind of bio bubble IPL has, but it's extremely risky to do something like this at this point of time when we have the highest numbers clocking in every day. Having said that, being a hardcore cricket fan, I'm very sure the precautions have been taken, and the machinery, the cricket machinery that the BCCI is taking care of the international players very well, because see, it is not important that how the Indian players are taken care of. It is also how we are showcasing how we are managing the foreign players who are the top players in their own teams. So I think uh, though it is very, very risky, but I feel that we have been able to take some very, very strong precautions with a very, very high, I would say, high degree of precautions while we conduct the tournament. Having said that, I get news from various media this thing that I think one of the ground staffs in Bombay has been tested positive. So though it's a very, very frightening news, and I'm sure, though as a fan, I'm really concerned, but I believe the entire cricketing machinery also will be very worried. How do we manage the situation? So let's hope. I'm sure we are on the second match. I think 60 odd matches to go. I feel that the kind of money which is involved, I think precautions can be managed. So all the best. Let's hope for a strong IPL, an exciting IPL.
Well, hi. So thanks to Mayuk and thanks to Arjun. I think, see, with this, it's a very valid question. If you see with the current scenario and with the current second peak, what's happening, is pretty frightening exactly. So I think it's obviously having such a big tournament at this point of a time. I feel it's very risky because when I thought like initially IPL they announced the date and initially it was like a month back, but now when when this during this peak time, then also when I read that this IPL is going as scheduled, so I was a little bit surprised. I thought like they may delay it because there was some news with that it may be postponed, but I was actually surprised with seeing that with the kind of cases and the life, everything at risk, with nowadays everywhere. I mean, people are losing money, business jobs, anything apart from that. But although if you speak as a cricket fan and as a common point of view, it's good. I mean, people, if you see, obviously it's a great sport and entertainment. So in terms of the administration which BCCI has provided and they have provided this one, the good entertainment obviously now because I think mental health is a very important part nowadays. This current scenario, being obviously in Bombay, everything is locked down. You cannot meet, just like work and staying at home, obviously with family and your closed ones. But I think that's very important. Apart from that, so that is one point of aspect. If you see a
And
positive part, people have interest in
one more
sports.
important thing, I just want to highlight. Even though we are really excited that IPL is back in India from Dubai. Last year it was played in United UAE. But one thing is for sure, even if it is back in India, still nobody really enjoys the home advantage because it's not that home match away match kind of thing. So that is one of the most interesting because I think in that case every team needs to change their strategies.
Correct. So I think yeah, with what I was telling and finishing is obviously there are two sides of the coin which I feel in the current one. But although I feel that in terms of the cases which happening in Maharashtra and Mumbai, I thought the matches might have moved of the matches out of Mumbai because the highest affected is Maharashtra, and I thought it might be moved to a different venue considering the players' safety. If you see another point of view, it's a big business, obviously, in terms of the business and money part comes over here with everything. So, and what you mentioned, obviously, in terms of the neutral venue, and obviously, it's an interesting concept because nobody is playing as home. And one more thing is like when the auction happened, when the team bought their players, the team management, nobody knew where the IPL is going to happen. So obviously, have you seen that last two matches? I don't think there is much of a because I think all these players have played in India before and they knew the conditions very well. Just like the home advantage and the things
Yeah.
you enjoy. Just enjoy a streak like Mumbai and Chennai. Yes. So few things. I think the players of the caliber of players which they have international domestic should not be a problem. Just like even you don't have any fans. So I don't think. Yes, obviously
Yeah.
home advantage with everything is
Yeah.
fine. It's a good thing. But now
So so
according to
I
the team and players that just
so on this regard, I'll just ask Arjun a much more specific question. Let's see, the basic thing when you play in your home ground, the pitch belongs to you. So that is one. But when there is in a common ground, there are multiple matches played. Do you think the team enjoys that advantage, or that is a big blow for the team? What do you feel? What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, so my
agree with.
opinion, so I will just try to add few points on your first question on this. I was just doing a small brainstorming internally.
Okay.
I was also wondering that it was a great actually time to showcase our second string of cities which could have actually hosted the IPL matches. So like we have some very good stadiums in secluded places like in Ranchi. I think the stadium is pretty outside the city, which I have seen personally. Also, there are stadiums now in Goa, places like Goa, and also for that matter, Dharamshala. Dharamshala was a very good venue where probably the impact of COVID is very less. So I don't know why they have kept the matches in Bombay. So I think it's a very interesting thing to ponder. I don't know why the matches were
No,
kept in Bombay where there is.
actually I have a point to say on that, because basically this organizing a tournament involves a huge amount of risk for the players, for the organizers. So my take on that is, they have chosen the big cities because the infrastructure, the health infrastructure in the big cities is better. So if you need quickly to in any medical assistance, in I am with due respect to all the small tier cities, I personally think the health infrastructure would be much more effective in bigger cities as compared to smaller cities. So that is my take on that. Even I was surprised firstly, but that is how I interpret it. So do you agree with that?
Yeah. So, correct. Just to give you some kind of point on this is because I have been traveling for the last around 3 months. I have traveled length and breadth of India. So last 10 days also I traveled from Goa to south till to the end, the tip of the country. So I have visited around four airports, and I found that the busiest airport, that is Bombay probably, or maybe Chennai for that matter, are the places which are actually, I would say, the hotbed for COVID. So when I say that when the players are moving from one place to other, I think it would have been better that they could have done it in smaller cities where probably, of course, I understand that the flight arrangements and the infrastructure movement from one place to other would have been slightly more tougher. But the possibilities of players getting interacting and getting COVID is very, very high in these cities, whether it is Bombay, whether it is, I think, Chennai. I think all these places are extremely, extremely tough situation. So I think let's move to the other point which you
Yeah.
asked. So let's move to the other point which you asked. If you can just again rephrase the question, I will.
Yeah, my
I
question
will
is
be able to
that.
answer.
So my question is that when you have your home ground, for example, KKR playing in Eden Gardens, or Mumbai playing in Wankhede, or Delhi playing in Firoz Shah Kotla, the pitch belong to them. It's as per them what kind of pitch they are going to set. Yeah, I know you need a certain kind of standards to be maintained, but still there's a some amount of assistance from the pitch which you can get because the pitch is in your hands. But on the other hand, when it is played in a common venue, or it's kind of a common bubble for multiple teams, and they all using the same ground. So do you think that is really possible? Because I personally think that is not possible then.
Yeah, true. So what you're saying is actually a very valid point. But having said that, it's critical also what has happened in the world cricket to understand. So if you
Yeah.
see, let's forget IPL. So if you see the pitches across the world, whether it is Perth, Brisbane, or Christchurch, or maybe you move to the South African pitches to England, barring few places in England or maybe in Australia, there is no pitch advantage which a bowler gets. Okay, so because the world cricket, the level of cricket has gone to a different level altogether. So that the brighter example of that is the performance of various teams performing at a different nation. So, for example, see India's performance. What has happened over the last so many years? When they have gone to Australia, or if you see England, they have not struggled that much because even West Indies for that matter. So, if you see the pitches across the world is not playing a very huge advantage to the host teams. And also similarly, IPL, I would say that primarily, I think everybody is very, very closely observing the pitch. So, for example, if a Chennai Super King is moving to, for example, if a KKR is moving to Chennai Super King as their host grounds, I think they are analyzing the pitch to the last bit. So, I think this advantage will not play much. I think one of the most important advantage which the teams are losing is the spectators. So I strongly feel like, for example, an RCB. I can imagine an RCB playing yesterday's match in Chinnaswamy. So that host advantage really plays in IPL. I have seen it. It really plays in the minds of the players. So there are some interesting grounds which really the teams have advantage. Like if you see the history of Chennai Super King, I think somewhere the ground at pitch, I don't know how much the pitch has played a role, but the fans have played a huge role in the
Huge role.
stadium.
Absolutely.
So even for that matter, RCB. So though I will not say that about maybe KKR or MI, but this advantage is there as a host teams.
Absolutely. So
Uh, yeah.
yeah. So having said that, now let's get into some of the details of IPL, some of the exciting facts which are there. For example, in this edition, we have a change in name by a team which was initially known as Kings 11 Punjab. So they have changed to Punjab Kings. So yeah, it's a fact that what's in a name. We always use this proverb, but definitely when a name changes, it's a new beginning for many of the fans. So I think and Punjab have some of the lovely fans. So I think Punjab will look to turn their fortunes with the change in name.
Yeah, so I think basically this name change are happening to bring in some kind of excitement. Uh, Very importantly, teams like Punjab, I think somewhere most of the times I feel have been very unlucky in terms of going to the next level. So I think somewhere these things, we all being Indians, we always believe in change of luck. Probably the change of name can help. So I think I will not be able to throw much light on that why they have done it. I think it's most not for the players but for the fans. I believe
Yeah.
it will work
Yeah,
better.
because it always looks like a new beginning when you have a new name. Just like for us, this is the second season for us, but there is a whole lot of new energy because we suddenly think that we are starting something new. So I think this somehow works in probably the psychological thing or something, but it works at times. It has done wonders for Delhi. If you see the performance of Delhi since the name changed, or probably for Hyderabad also, the overall consistency of Hyderabad team.
Yes, I think it's to add to that point. I think it's mostly to do with a superstition or a change. As you mentioned, change is very constant.
Yeah,
So I think with Punjab, obviously I think apart from the 2014 that final, they didn't have any consistent season. Although I feel last season they were very unlucky. But I think this change of fortune, maybe in terms of other teams like Hyderabad or which team, Hyderabad and the Delhi. So maybe as an example, a complete new change with a set of players. When if you see with Punjab as well, not only with the name, they have also bring a lot of changes to the team as well
yeah,
because they have the highest budget this season. In short, it's a complete revamp of the team and at the name as well to bring new luck and going forward. I think
and
apart from superstitions, yeah.
and
So
also,
uh,
yes,
yeah.
please complete.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And, and just to get to a new beginning and a fresh start to have. So I think in terms of the Punjab team, I feel they have a good team this year. And let's see how that because I think the players which they have bought and they may be the dark horses. Also
Yeah,
with the change of name, I think that's the only sticking and strategy of the Punjab team board. Also, we have Anil Kumble, the great Anil Kumble.
yeah.
So a very good cricketing brain behind the Punjab team. So the resurgence which may happen in the time will tell. Let's see how
And
it
then
goes. Yeah.
also we have two new captains this time. A lot is expected of
Yeah.
them. We have Rishabh Pant getting the captain's armband from due to Shreyas Iyer's
Yes.
injury, of course, unfortunate injury. And we have Sanju
Yes.
Samson, who will lead the
Yes.
Rajasthan Royals from the front. So, what are
Mhm.
your expectations? Because I personally find both of them very exciting. They play a very exciting brand of cricket, and both of them are
Mm.
very fearless in their style of play, which I see. So, do you?
Correct.
I personally think they will also have the fearless brand of captaincy. Do you have the same opinion, or do you think otherwise? Probably.
Well,
Yeah, so
in terms of
yeah. So Ayan, you would like to answer that first? I can probably wait. Not an issue. You can answer it.
okay, I'll just answer. No problem. See, I think a very good question, Mayuk. See, in terms of with Rishabh, whenever they announced with the Delhi captain, I was initially a little bit surprised. I thought like I thought like Steve Smith have been the ideal candidate, and they have many captains. I mean not Ajinkya. I don't think they would have fall to Ajinkya Rahane in that matter. Obviously, he has been a good Test series down under and a lot of experience in that team. I'll like to just get these two teams and my point of view. See, with Delhi, if you see, Delhi are led under Ricky Ponting. It's a complete game. It's a complete difference than Rajasthan Royals. I feel. I think Ricky Ponting being a very successful captain in Australia and his think tank. I think the way he leads, even last year. I mean, till they changed their name. Before 2 years, they were third and last in the finalists. So even if you see the match, I think today, and the thinking behind is a complete Australian and Ricky Ponting way. So I think to give Rishabh Pant the captainship is a complete new strategy, and they obviously the think tank they think something high of him, the way he plays and the potential which he has. If you see the example of Rishabh Pant, it was the same with Rohit. I'm not comparing with Rohit Sharma back when he was giving the captaincy. So they do see something in Rishabh, and again, if you see as a new start or a new beginning, some teams have the strategy of going to certain things. So I feel it's a new way of going forward, and the way Delhi plays completely a Ricky Ponting way, very aggressive. The way he picks up his team, Rishabh, the kind of form he is in the last 6 months, they felt like it's the best time to give him the captaincy. The way he's batting and the confidence level. Let's see whether this IPL will bring a great captain Rishabh Pant or not. We have seen past with Rohit, so it might be a great thing for the Indian. I personally think it will be a great thing, learning thing obviously going forward in India. Considering the fact when Virat and Rohit are in the 30s, obviously not to compare anybody, but yeah, in terms of Sanju Samsung, let's see how it goes because you see both Rishabh and Sanju Samsung, they both have, I think, Sanju Samsung hasn't played much of international cricket. Although very talented, highly rated. So also the team they have got with Stokes, Butler, no Archer for initially, but they also thinking in a right way. Time will tell. I just cannot comment much on how he will take the captainship and the way he's batting because I think batting well and captainship is a two different thing. The different pressure also in a tournament like an IPL. So I think by the end of the tournament we'll know how Sanju Samsung as a captain for RR. But I certainly have high hopes as from Rishabh Pant, yeah, because the think tank and the team he has is a better chance to succeed and excel. Yeah. Back to Arjun here.
Yeah, so we have to see why this captaincy has been given to Rishabh or maybe Sanju Samson. So I think both of them are the next big thing for Indian cricket. I think Rishabh has already proven that he is the next big thing. So around 2 years back when Mahendra Singh Dhoni retired from all forms of cricket, so we were all wondering who actually will fill.
True.
And now we have someone like Rishabh who has not only filled the position, but has set a very high example. So our expectation from Rishabh Pant now is extremely high. So not only his batsmanship has gone to a different level. If you see the glitches for what he had in his wicket keeping has also improved leaps and bounds. Very importantly, whether most of us are following him behind the wicket, his tips also are very, very interesting, which is giving to the bowlers, which means that he is a great reader of the game. His age is 21. Look, his age is 21, and probably we are actually looking at the youngest Indian captain. So both, I think, Rohit and Virat are in that phase where probably next 3 to 4 years time they probably may retire. I think Virat is 32. I don't know the exact age. 32, I think, and Rohit is also around 32 plus. So I think in all probability, I think that Rishabh is the next Indian captain. So looking at that aspect and also respecting his loyalty, or you would say his experience with Delhi Capitals, he has been given this chance, and I think he's going to take it in both the hands. He is a cricketer of this generation who believe in taking opportunities in both the hands, and he has very clearly proven that. Same with Sanju Samson. I'm sure Sanju Samson, this stint with Rajasthan Royal is also going to make way of and cementing his position in the Indian side. So I feel Sanju is a very, very calm and very cool cricketer. Though Rishabh and Sanju are fearless brand of cricketers, but I think they have a very strong cricketing mind behind them.
True.
So I will not say that they will have a fearless brand of captaincy, but I can surely say that they have a strong cricketing mind behind them, and that will be, of course, seen in the ground. So I'm sure I wish all the best to Rishabh and Sanju Samson. I'm waiting when he takes up the Indian captaincy within the next 3 to 4 years' time.
True. And one more exciting fact is, which I found out is, uh, I am really happy that Harbhajan Singh has been picked by the KKR franchisee, because it's a matter of fact that Harbhajan Singh actually came into the limelight after his hat trick at Eden Gardens, Kolkata, in the 2001 series against Australia, which India had defeated Australia after ending Australia's 16 Test match winning streak. So in that test, he came into limelight from Kolkata, and just at the twilight of his career, he has joined Kolkata franchise, the KKR franchisee. So, do you guys think that he has run a full circle now, coming back to
Yeah,
Kolkata? Yes, please.
yeah, of course. Yes. Very importantly,
And
all these
and the
players who
love,
are
and always the love he got from Kolkata.
yeah. So I'm sure Harbhajan is a professional, and very importantly, these things keep playing in their mind. So like the way we fans are discussing this, I think this also is moving in mind that he actually made a mark in Calcutta
Yeah.
around 18, 19 years back. But more importantly, why have they taken Harbhajan, and what is his role? That's more important to understand. Is because if you see two teams which have actually struggled in the last IPL, that is Chennai Super King and also KKR, is a lack of an off spinner. If you see over the years, the teams which have done well, separating MI, all had a very, very effective spin department. Okay, primarily the spin department, specifically off spin. The success of KKR primarily rode with Narayan. Narayan primarily is an off spinner. So I think somewhere they wanted to ensure that they have a very good off spinner who could probably play 4 to 5 matches and can turn the tide in the times when they are going to play teams which had left-handers. So off spinner will play a very important role. Looking at Harbhajan's experience, I think I'm sure Harbhajan will not get all the games. He may get around 4 to 5 games. Not very sure whether he's going to play all the 13, 14 games. But I'm sure he looking at his reports of coming to the ground early, practicing the most. I think he is a champion, and I'm sure he's going to make a mark. The number of games he plays. So I think it's a great move for KKR.
I think quickly with Harbhajan.
So one more question. I think Royal Challengers Bangalore. Royal Challengers Bangalore. This is a very special IPL for Virat Kohli. We all know why. So and I feel RCB might find some kind of rhythm because of their depth in the squad. I'm not saying this because I'm an RCB fan, but I truly think this time RCB team really has some amount of depth, both in batting and bowling, isn't it?
Yes, well, hi. I mean, yeah, with RCB, I mean, if you see with RCB this season and was following up with the auction closely, I think what you were saying, I see this time the balance of the team is far better. Like in all the seasons, if you feel like it's RCB is mostly because with Virat and ABD and the batting, but and two things in RCB is very much like one was the depth bowling and one was the middle order. If you see this time with the buys of Maxwell, Dan Christian, and Jamison, their middle order in terms of batting and depth, and obviously in bowling. I think apart from batting, what RCB has been lacking Even if you see a lot of experts and we discuss the depth bowling part, I think batting has not been a much concern with RCB. But even if you see, and obviously a lot of time to go in this tournament yet, but I feel that this season, in terms of the buys of Jamison and Richardson, obviously, and Harshal, obviously. So I think in the depth over with RCB looks good because which was lacking, and even in the batting, uh, quite a good amount of them apart from Virat and ABD. So let's see how it goes. Still a long away for this tournament to proceed, and when the time will tell. But I think they may have a chance this year to go to the top four and eventually go ahead. Yeah.
So
And obviously, with terms of Virat being this year looking a very calm captain than the other season. And one more thing, the key point is he's back to where he's best, the opening slot. Yeah. So that is good for RCB.
True that. So, having said that, I think one thing which we have discussed, but every IPL, this is one of the most discussed topics. That is this Mahendra Singh Dhoni's last IPL. I personally feel this is. So, do you guys also agree with me that I guess this is the last time we'll get to see Thala play?
Yeah, so looking at his strike rates falling considerably. So if you see the last three IPLs from 121, he fell down to 104, and now last IPL at Dubai, he was at 99. In fact, today also, I think he caught early. 2 balls he played and he was out duck. Somewhere he has prolonged his stay in IPL and then CSK. So something I feel very strongly that it was something to do with emotions. All because I don't think he has any monetary needs. So I think the Dubai IPL should have been his last IPL. So he is actually now toying with the IPL CSK fans. So ideally he should have stepped down.
True. And Ayan, your quick comments before we end about Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
I think in this point, I do agree. In terms of MSD, obviously, I feel this season, I think will come completely agreeing with Arjunda. Even I think today, the way he got out, the way his feet, and obviously he had this issue with the spinners, the way he's getting out in terms of his feet movement, his reflexes, the Dhoni the ball which he got out today, I think 3-4 years, I don't think he's getting out in that ball. But his reflexes, and I personally feel this should be his last season because the same thing. I don't have much things to add in terms of the emotions, but it's maybe this season the IPL is in India. All through with the fans, we don't have any control. But I think this should be the last season, and the time has now passed to the new chapter in CSK. So a new captain, obviously, who wants to take things forward. This legacy will obviously be in there, but I think So I think even if you see all the great leaders and players, they knew when they wanted to retire. Even all the players. So the legacy which he has left, and my personal feeling is also there's a confirmation from the CSK CEO that there's one more season or 2 seasons he may play. I'm definitely not sure about it. I read a comment somewhere today. But I personally feel this should be his last IPL, yes, and get a send off in India itself, yeah.
True. Having said that, I think that was it for the first episode. This was just an introductory episode. But as I said, we all three of us, we can promise to all our listeners that we are truly excited for this season's IPL. And secondly, from the next episode onwards, we'll be coming up with more data and statistics-backed content. We'll try to bring that out. And also, in case somebody wants to join us, feel free to approach us to be a part of this podcast. So, Arjunda, Ayan, quickly, in case you...
So, Mayuk, just ending, I think one thing which we need to add and make it more interesting is who would be the most emerging player. So, probably you can answer that for this IPL. So, probably we can have we can do this every week. So, we do this review. So, who do you think will be the most...
I didn't get you. Could you please ask me the question once again?
So the question is, who you think will be the most emerging player in this IPL? I'm not talking about the emerging player of the IPL per se. I'm talking about the Indian players who are in the fray. Like, just to give an example, Venkatesh Iyer or maybe Shahrukh or
Yeah.
Azharuddin. So whom do you think will be the
Yeah,
most?
so one particular player for whom I have heard a lot about, because there is a actually I have done my sports analytics with a guy from Kerala, and last day he called me and he said this guy is an amazing talent. The guy called Azharuddin, who has been recruited by RCB, and I really don't have his stats in place, but honestly, what I have heard from him, he has done wonders for the domestic level of play in Kerala. So and now that he's playing for RCB, he's giving me some extra bit of interest. So that is one player I really want to look into. Secondly, I was reading an article about Mujib, the guy spinner called Mujib in Hyderabad. He's a young lad and he's not new to the IPL, but there was some predictions. There was a writing on him, and it was being told that instead of Rashid Khan, if he plays or along with Rashid Khan, there's a probability that he might not get chance, but just to fit Rashid Khan in. But in case he comes, he also have some lethal deliveries that could be very effective in Indian pitches. So these are the two, and honestly, I have heard about these two players probably in the last 2 days from people who are actually into IPL sports analytics.
Great. So what about Ayan? Ayan, whom are you actually touting the next big thing for Indian cricket?
Well, very honestly, I've heard in terms of these three players, Venkatesh, KKR, and this guy Shahrukh and Azharuddin. So I've been seeing few matches with the Ranji and the innings which played and watched closely. I think this guy Azharuddin looks a very good talent. Heard a lot about Shahrukh, that guy, with the coaches from Kings and Eleven and reports saying he bats a bit like Pollard, not to compare, but still the style which he plays. So I have my bets on. Obviously, I always believe that how much talented you are, any format, any sport, once on the big stage with this world-class bowlers and such a tournament like an IPL, you just have to prove your mantle. I wait for few more matches and to see how they play against all those great teams, great players, great bowlers. So my eye will be on Azharuddin, Shahrukh, and Venkatesh, three of them.
So
So
you have to choose. You have to keep it small and crisp. One name you have to say.
I will put my bets on Shahrukh. Looking
Okay, so
forward for him.
Azharuddin, Shahrukh, and being a huge KKR fan, I am betting on Venkatesh Iyer. I'm not very sure whether he will get a place to play tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't see, but I think I'm looking forward to see him perform.
Yes.
So, yeah, thank you so much, Mayuk and Ayan, for this fantastic session.
Yes.
First session. Let's have a bigger and better session next week.
Absolutely. So
Yes, absolutely. Amazing to be back on the second season. As usual, the Evergreen Arjunda and Aviz Mayuk for this wonderful. So, yeah, looking forward to again be part of the show.
Yeah. So thanks to all the listeners. Yeah, but make sure to subscribe to our channel. So that is something we're really looking forward to. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
6. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. That is just...
Oh, he's knocked him over. What a ripper. What a good piece of bowling. 151.1. A wicket maiden. Superb fast bowling.